Roman Reigns is back with a big announcement. Ronda Rousey draws a line in the sand, and Ric Flair's birthday party goes off without a hitch.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Yeah, everybody, what's up? We are here. We got a full squad. What a Monday night it was, start to finish. There was a lot happening, and a shocker at the end, to say the least. Is anyone? How are we feeling? Is everyone excited? TK's like half asleep right now.
Here we go.
We're having the time of our lives, man. WrestleMania season is upon us. I can't be more excited.
That's right. So here we are, guys. This is a Raw After Show at AfterBuzz TV. Jonny here with you. The man on the couch right there, drinking the Uptime.
Uptime.
Shout out to Uptime. Follow him at Evan T. Mac. He's Evan T. Mac.
Yeah, man, I just found out the black can is sugar, the white can is sugar free. I didn't know.
Man.
I didn't know.
Dr.
I've
Berry,
never
man,
had.
Dr. Berry.
Do you notice a difference in taste?
A slight difference. Just
Yo,
a
you
slight.
kind of syrup Uptime now?
Yeah, shout out to Uptime, man. It's oaky. It's oaky with a bit of.
Can I get give me a little sip here?
It takes a little bit of Uptime.
All the way across the way, he is the resident unfavorite of all the fans on the show. And he's okay with it. He lives with it every single day. Follow him at Jim Alexander. He's Jim Alexander.
They call me a heel, but I'm just telling you all the truth.
Preaching up in here, boy.
I'm not telling you anything you don't already know.
Jim is the Thanos of the show, and a man who's wearing the Thanos t-shirt.
Hey, what's going on,
Flobo boys?
In the house. Thank you so much for inviting us into your homes and streams and second screens.
That's right. And the crown jewel of the show sitting next to me right now. See her every single day on VH1 and formerly of TMZ. And sporting brand new hair, she's TK Trinidad.
Oh, what's up? Feel the glow.
What? Tell me you're not wearing new hair. Have new hair. I don't know how it is.
Wearing
It's
it.
beautiful. It's beautiful.
Listen, she bought that. It's hers, man. She bought that hair, man.
Oh,
It's
Johnny.
beautiful hair. It's beautiful
It's a
hair.
hot dear
black
bride.
girlfriend.
Yo, shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Oh, Uptime. But shout out to Maria in the chat, man. Dylan in the chat. Rocky in the chat. Yeah, Ghost in the chat. Dan in the chat. Bosa in the chat. Zeno Hour in the chat. Jay Will.
Let's get into it. There's a lot to talk about. 2 or 3 massively specific things. Let's get right to the chase. Roman Reigns kicks off the show. And, just over 4 months ago, October 22nd, he made the announcement that his leukemia had come back. He's been battling it off and on for well over a decade. And, everyone's been wishing him well. Mm-hmm. And good news, I don't know if he had radiation or chemo. I don't know if he went public with what the treatment was per se. But he is in remission, which after 4 months, my guess is they must have caught it very early. I'm hoping because when you have leukemia, it's always a battle. You never know. And so hopefully he stayed very consistent with his doctor's appointments over the years. Yep. And I'm guessing they must have caught it right away. And he's probably got an incredible immune system being a professional athlete. Mm-hmm. And hey, 4 months down the road, here we are. In remission, baby.
Nice.
Can we say that, at least in my opinion, him being himself, Joe, and being that vulnerable made me love the character Roman Reigns even more?
Sure.
Like that strength totally seemed multifaceted instead of just being the big dog, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Well,
props
this
to his
was
good
him.
health.
This was him
No,
as a
for
person.
sure, yeah.
Yes.
And I also like the fact, well, not like the fact, but there was a picture of him and The Rock on set for, I think it was the Hobbs movie.
Hobbs and Shaw, yeah.
So it's just like, wait a minute. Like, you're doing that, but you can't do this. So I like the fact that it was like a tease and everybody was wondering, and then lo and behold, he's back on the show. So, yeah, definitely.
Yes, the thing is, it's crazy that it took leukemia to put this dude over.
Yeah.
But that's what it did. And it's one of those things where it's not like that's what they wanted, but they were trying to get Roman Reigns over for so long. Yeah. And he was over tonight. And I think at that point where the people realize this thing happened to him and it's a real thing, you know what I mean? And this is a real thing and it separates fantasy and stuff like that. Everyone's like, all right, we got to cut this dude a break. You know what I mean? We got to stop all this booing Roman just to boo Roman thing.
Oh, they're going to boo him eventually.
I don't think so.
I
I do not think so. I don't see him getting booed ever again.
Oh, ever again?
Ever.
He would have to turn a hard heel.
Are you kidding me?
He gets hurt.
Did you see tonight?
Oh, tonight for sure. If he was being himself, yeah, they won't boo him. But
Yeah,
I'm
no,
pretty
but
sure.
You guys got to give people more credit than that, man.
Oh, no.
That's crazy.
No, because Jim is like a microcosm of whatever everybody else that's out there. There's more of Jims, so it's just kind of one of those
Well,
things.
I'm not
where,
rooting for Roman to get cancer.
Thank you very much.
Let's not go there.
That's crazy.
What I'm saying is that he's gonna come back. He's gonna settle in, and then he's gonna do his character. And the people who weren't really feeling him then are not gonna feel him now after he gets settled in.
TK, don't you think this was one of the biggest top 5 pops probably ever
for sure.
seen on Raw.
Are you kidding
sure,
me?
yeah.
Ever.
Crazy.
I mean, it was just nonstop, over and over. He was so over tonight. It was just unbelievable. Like, even Lafayette would have been cheering.
Well, here's the part of Lafayette still would have been half asleep. Lafayette, you'd still be ashamed of yourself.
No, seriously.
No, for sure.
But no, I think a lot of the fans that boo Roman Reigns, they don't boo him because they dislike him. They boo him because it's a fun activity. It's almost like
That's what I'm trying to
It's a
say.
Cena
yeah,
thing.
booing
It's a
Roman
Cena
is
thing.
almost like the beach ball thing. It makes no sense. It's stupid, yet people still do it.
Yeah.
And I think this whole situation made them realize, you know what? I was being immature. I was being stupid. This guy is a great family man. You can't
Like,
argue.
stop. Like, honestly,
Yeah.
So
man.
you think in like 3 to 6 months they'll still
Absolutely will not be booing this dude
you have a
ever
lot
again.
of faith.
It's not about faith, it's about reality. Just like Johnny says. Like, they were booing. It got to the point where they're just booing Roman just to boo him. Like, because there was that spell where he was just getting the break speed off him. Every single match, he wasn't in the title picture like that, and they still booed him. They're just booing the boo, man. And when somebody gets diagnosed with something this real, because everyone they know, everyone knows somebody that's been hit with this, and it hit home. And we're talking about cancer, man. This it just changes things, man. And listen, if people gonna boo, I got to give people way more credit than that.
Oh.
He ain't getting booed no more.
guess so.
I don't think he's like. Sorry about that.
Well, no, you know, they finally realized that there's no stars on the roster. Well, besides a few like Seth Rollins, and there was a real star.
boy.
This is a look of a star. You finally saw a star
Period.
back, and people acknowledge it and like, whoa, we missed having
That's
stars
so
and
true, though.
major acts on this brand.
They're like,
And
damn.
So that was a star. It took something like that for him being away to recognize, hey, we really missed this guys because we had something here. And tonight you saw the lack of stars on this roster, and there's one coming
boy.
back tonight.
Wow, what are you? Lack of stars.
Well, that's why we have a Becky Lynch main event in a sense too, because you couldn't build any other major feuds. 'cause
wait
there's
a minute.
no
Hold
star.
on.
Yeah, Jim's time early, bro.
Hold on, Jim. I got to throw a flag. I'm going to bring a flag in here now. I'm going to just throw a
Yeah.
flag
You got
over there.
flags here?
Listen, no, they're doing the main event because it's just time, bro.
Right.
It's time. It's long
but
overdue,
here's the thing.
brother.
Let's not-
Because you wouldn't be able
No.
to do this if people weren't ready for it.
You wouldn't be able to do this if Ronda Rousey wasn't involved. First of all, let's not forget about
what
that.
does that
fact.
matter?
She's a big part of it. She is.
There's no chance. There's zero chance Becky Lynch would have been main eventing with Charlotte if Ronda Rousey was not in WWE.
Right, but your comment's
Here's-
irrelevant.
here's-
She's in WWE.
Okay, but I'm just saying
No
that's
stars,
because
no
of
stars, no
Ronda.
stars.
Well, here's
That's
the thing.
because of
Ronda's
Ronda.
gonna be
It's
there because of
happening.
mainstream, but Becky
Yeah.
Lynch is over big time
Right.
in
She's
the wrestling
over,
community.
But she can't wrestle herself.
Yeah, Russell can't. Yeah, Rousey can't wrestle.
I don't care how over
Yeah.
Becky is, and everybody's like, she's over. She can't wrestle herself. Though.
Yeah.
As over as Becky is, and
Her
everybody,
and Charlotte just
people starting
wouldn't
to
sell
wear,
a main event
people starting
right
to wear
now.
me
It's
out
because
this
of
Becky
Ronda.
Lynch
It got moved up to this point.
Yeah, listen, Jim, you got a point there, bro. Like, of
course I did.
Ronda is driving the main event.
You see, there's no point here at all. I disagree.
No, what I'm trying. No, he's making a point of Ronda's name is a reason to have a main event at WrestleMania. with
No,
women.
I guess the original point was saying that there was no stars on Raw.
Oh, that's
and that's what, I was like, I disagree with
that's
that.
ridiculous.
That makes no sense to me.
That's
Like,
ridiculous.
3 hours of
Who's a
nothing?
star? Who's a star besides Seth Rollins?
Oh, I knew it. I knew it.
Lesnar when he's there. I mean, I can't think of the
Okay.
top of my head.
All
There's a
right.
bunch of mid-carders.
But you're
Kind
saying
of getting over, getting pushed
Damn.
to the spots
What?
because they shouldn't be, but I don't see any stars. Tonight I saw one in Roman Reigns finally back.
So you're saying that people just came to this show and sat in their head and go, "Wow, Roman Reigns! I'm gonna finally cheer because it's the only star in the building for a 3-hour program." Is that what you're saying?
They missed seeing us. Who has been a star? That's why there's no main event type of even feel going into WrestleMania. With these feuds.
What?
There's a bunch of mid-carders. We're in an
Can't
era
even.
of mid-card heaven.
even.
Okay,
Shout
mid-card
out
heaven.
Time.
They are like.
In his defense, I've heard none of you guys name anybody's names.
I'm just tired.
Well, it's because no one's giving me a second to say some names. Number one, you watched the Finn Balor Leo Rush match. That was phenomenal. You can't say Finn Balor's not a star.
He could be a star, but they won't allow him to be.
Well,
So-
that's irrelevant then.
So is he or is he not?
Is he a
He's
star?
not because they're not booking him as a star.
Right? That doesn't mean he's not. He's an international star before he even got to WWE, and he
You're a
continued
star.
to be so.
You better have the title for more than 24 hours. That's all I'm saying.
He tore his labrum, you dummy!
And he never got it back. He never got it back. They never gave it back to him. They never gave him back the
Shout
title
out to the
chance.
labrum tear.
Wow. So Finn Balor's a curtain jerker here today, and after all,
Not a curtain jerker. He's just a mid-carder. It's okay to be a mid-carder. Like I
but
said.
he's not a mid
buy
carder.
that T-shirt.
Not everyone
it's okay
can
to
be-
be a mid Carter.
He just made events in a
main-
pay-per-view like a month ago.
Yeah, because they had to fill him in for something. something. Brock Lesnar needed an
your
opponent.
arguments are so irrelevant, though. He still was a main eventer in the pay-per-view, and it was a great 9-minute match. It was great.
9-minute match. That's what I'm telling you. They even give it more than 10 minutes.
It's because Lesnar was in the match. Lesnar doesn't want to sweat.
Lesnar's wrestled longer matches than that. I like Finn Balor. I like Finn Balor a lot. They're just not booking him. They haven't booked him since he returned as a star, as a main event star. He's upper mid-card at best. And he could be a star. They just won't book him that way. Not his fault. That's why everyone almost on the roster is mid-card, pretty much.
Oh, my
Okay,
God.
you're telling me Ricochet and Aleister Black are not stars.
NXT stars or like...
Well, apparently they're here now.
No, they're still NXT guys. They're NXT guys. They're just getting that preview on Raw to get their name exposed and the brand exposed.
They'll be on SmackDown, too, tomorrow. I guarantee that.
Yeah.
You don't think Lashley's a star?
No.
Drew McIntyre?
No.
Okay.
What are you smoking?
Mid-Carders.
What is wrong with you?
Zeno Hour agrees with you 100%, Jim, by the way.
Mid-Carders.
He
I
agrees
mean,
with you 100%. I'm just saying you're not alone in the chat.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't care if I am alone.
Shout-
It's
shout
just
out to
true.
the chat.
Shout out to
I
him,
mean,
Jim.
you know you're alone. I mean,
Not tonight. He's not.
that's a given.
No, shit.
He goes to bed alone. That's for sure.
So
I don't know about that either.
Hey, you don't know what's going on. I might be the Ric Flair of that. Okay?
Yeah.
Styling and profiling. Wheeling, dealing.
You can't profile by yourself, man. Come on. Don't.
Well, I mean, I guess you can.
Swear to God, he could have a stable of girls.
Johnny is dumbfounded. What are you doing,
So
Johnny?
when you say star, who are you comparing?
AJ Styles, Seth Rollins. That's the only person he put over in the show.
AJ Styles is a star.
Sure.
Seth Rollins is a star.
Okay.
Roman Reigns is a star.
Box office.
Brock Lesnar is a star.
Okay.
Randy Orton is a star, but he's putting aside because he's done it for so long.
Yeah, he's
But
in like
he's
good
proven.
matchmaking mode right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For goodness
Daniel
sakes.
Bryan's a star, and then we start going.
Becky Lynch is a star. Charlotte Flair's a star. as well.
Charlotte Flair's a star. Becky Lynch is a star, being booked like one right now.
We are getting away off topic.
It's a
What's
little bit
what's
quick,
your
but
rubric,
this is topic.
man?
This is wrestling, man. This whole thing's on topic.
Is it years? Is it moveset? Is it fan reaction? What do you
It's
use?
everything. It's a combination
I know
of
it's
everything. Who
but what do you
sells
use?
out buildings? Who's the one that puts
Yeah,
butts in a
yeah.
seat?
Okay.
You think Lashley's gonna put butts in a seat? You think Drew McIntyre? No, that's why they're not stars. It's as simple as that. That's why they need to bring back Batista because he is a star, and you need stars for
So
WrestleMania.
wait, so all the stars that you've quoted, they had years and time to build to become a star, correct?
And Lashley has been around since WrestleMania 23, and
Yeah.
I think he would have been a star if he was.
Yeah,
by now.
but they had time. And the thing is, like what I said before with the locker room, and like you have so many people, a lot of people are not getting the time in order to be the star because you're not getting enough time in the ring.
Some of them are getting booked. I think Finn Balor is a victim of not getting properly booked. But a lot of them just aren't good enough to be stars. And not everyone can be LeBron James. It's okay to be Kyle Kuzma in a sense, or Brandon Ingram.
Well, yeah, there's
Shout out
somebody that
to
has to be on the bench. Somebody, but it's just one of those things where, with your analogy with basketball, it's based off of talent.
Right.
And with
Right.
wrestling, it's not based like you have the talent, but it's also the
It's
storyline.
talent, it's look, it's charisma, it's personality.
Sometimes
how
it's
good you are in a
timing.
moment.
I mean,
And
Balor-
timing too. And timing too.
is
Balor-
true.
Timing, storyline, because you could have the
Like, because
talent and
Kofi
have a
right now
terrible
is
storyline.
perfect storm.
Kofi, yeah, that's a good example.
because Mustafa didn't go down.
Right.
They don't
An
wake up and
opportunity.
realize that he's
Right.
a main event.
And Balor tore his labrum when he won the title. So there's things like that.
That's
now going back to your
brutal.
point about Becky and Ronda and Charlotte, it's going to be the main event in WrestleMania. You say without Ronda, it would have. Yeah, that's fine. Ronda's part of WWE. That's irrelevant.
She's the big name. That's why they've been booking this ahead.
I
for her.
will disagree with the fact that you're saying they don't have enough stars. That's why the women are main eventing WrestleMania. I completely disagree.
No,
I don't
no.
give a damn who they would have added to WrestleMania.
Wouldn't have
These three women are going to main event WrestleMania.
Well
They're the most
deserved.
intriguing story. It's going to be the thing everyone's talking about. And yeah, Ronda's a big part of it. Of course she is. But it doesn't matter who is involved. What stars they deserve to be main eventing.
It's time,
not
though.
just
It's
'cause-
just time.
Well, yeah, it's not just the fact that
But
it's
that
time
is
for
the
women.
fact, Johnny.
No, it's not.
It's time, it's talent,
It's
opportunity.
time.
It's like all of
It's
the
time for a
mix.
woman to main event a
No, no.
WrestleMania. It's
Yeah,
the perfect time.
But that's a subjective thing. I agree with you. But,
is.
but trust me, they're not main eventing the women just because it's time.
But that's 50% of the reason.
And the lack of stars. And lack of
not the
rocks.
lack-
There's
it's
no.
not
They couldn't even have did that last year. They couldn't have did it last year. They couldn't have did it the year before.
They're
It's the
booking the
perfect
match
time.
that's going to make the most money, and the triple threat women's match right now is going to make the most money.
Right.
That's why they're main
But
eventing.
what he's trying to say is that other Impact has been doing stuff with women for a long period of time. WWE is, just did the evolution. They're just doing all this women stuff, and WWE is on a major platform. And because of the Me Too movement, you have all.
That's
it's
what
like
I
the
mean.
perfect storm.
I mean,
stuff.
all of that
and on
stuff.
top of that, you have 3 women who are superstars that people want to see. They know they're good wrestlers, and they happen to be women.
Right.
So that's the whole crux of it.
If
If they were terrible wrestlers, then it
would
wouldn't
not
make
sell.
any sense.
Yeah.
Agree. If you say it's time, it seems kind of arbitrary. Like, well, I might as well do one of these things.
That's
And
not what I'm
I-
saying. If you guys
that's
don't know what I'm
it sounds
saying, then
like.
I was trying to speak in another language. I'm trying to say,
No, you
based
make
on what
sense.
TK just said, guys, I'm not talking about wrestling. From a women controlling things now because men have been putting women down for so long,
Yeah.
and it's become a moment where women are being recognized for all their abilities, all their hard work, and all their dedication. And these superstars, it's a perfect storm, is what I'm trying to say.
Right, sure,
By
sure.
it being time, it's time for people to be like, 5 years ago, men would get up and get a beer during a women's match.
Yeah.
They can't do that now. That's why I say it's time for it to happen. People are interested. Men are interested. People are intrigued.
Fair enough.
It's the perfect time for this match to happen.
got
Guys,
you.
you can't act like they could just throw women in there last year and it would work. It wouldn't have worked.
No.
Right.
It would not have worked, man. This is the moment.
That's
And
exactly.
Ronda
Perfect storm,
Rousey's
man. Perfect storm.
arrival.
I understand your point. Yeah.
That's all I'm trying to say. It's like there's so much going on now, and there's never been a more heightened microscope on the power of what women can do. And WWE superstars are one of the lightning rods, man. These women are moving the needle, man. And like I said,
Yep.
it's just about time for putting them in the main event.
And that's why they're main evented, for show. So we're going to get to Roman Reigns again in a little bit because he does end up being physical. Didn't see that coming, but the number one thing that none of us knew was going to happen was the ending of the Ric Flair birthday party. Number one, kind of disappointing no one got into that cake. It looked delicious.
Man, I wanted that cake, man.
That was well put together, that
That
cake.
is a lot of sugar.
Also put together that package, that video package was awesome.
Beautiful
Yeah,
video.
Best in the
Good
business,
work.
man.
And shout out to Maria Menounos.
Yeah, of course.
AfterBuzz owner. She gave a little shout out. So
She sure did. Stone Cold, Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg.
And they loaded all the superstars were on the entrance ramp. They brought in a bunch of people in the ring. Shawn Michaels, Ricky Steamboat, Kurt Angle. Sting. And of course you think, these kind of parties, generally they end up with just a fun time. And then Raw goes off the air and the balloons are all over the place. And, well, Ric Flair's music hits and I don't really understand quite what happened. Maybe I missed a second or two, but the cameras go to the back, and Batista shows up.
Dragging the cameraman.
So he was dragging a camera?
Yeah, come get
Oh, was
this.
it cameraman?
Yeah, he was like, come get
Okay.
this. And
He
goes-
wanted him to catch that on film.
Okay,
on
got
film,
it.
and he goes into the backstage area, or Ric Flair's dressing room, quote
Yeah.
unquote, and lays hands on him.
He did something to Ric Flair. I think it was already done, and he went in just to get the
course.
camera guy, drag
Yeah.
Oh,
him out.
He still is 70. Let's not put any unnecessary pressure on this man. If you don't have to. That's ridiculous.
To be fair,
movie
Batista's
magic.
only 20 years younger.
That's the thing. Because he's a gym rat though.
Yeah,
man.
no
He-
doubt.
He lives in that
I
gym.
mean, Steamboat was walking around giving hands and high fives. He was all losing, yeah. It was awesome.
And so he looks directly in the camera and
Whoa.
says, "Do I have your attention now, Hunter?" Mic drop. Damn.
Star.
Did
Finally,
not-
Stars back.
Did not see that coming.
To Jim's
I
point,
did not
instant
either.
box office sales.
Yeah.
It's instant box office.
Yeah, Drew McIntyre can have that reaction, right? Come on, man. That's a star. That's what you need for WrestleMania. That's what I've been saying. They needed one of those guys. Batista's back. It totally changes the mood, the atmosphere. Box office is open right now. And
Ticket
all
sales
the
off.
mid-carders can, wait till after WrestleMania.
I mean,
because
to
this
be-
is a guy you need right now.
I mean, I'll say this though: let's say we have the women's triple threat. Let's say we have Daniel Bryan. Let's just say we have Daniel Bryan, Kofi Kingston, and let's say we have Brock Lesnar with Seth Rollins, which we do. I'd say Batista, Triple H is. I mean, I'm still more excited for those other three before. Yeah, he's a star, of course, but
Yeah.
in the long-term story of WWE, what does it mean?
well, for the next
I
couple
know what you're
months,
saying.
it's a
Yeah.
big story.
Great.
And
It's
that's
great.
what matters.
It's
Yeah.
probably going to go to WrestleMania, and then that's it.
Yeah,
That's
and
not a couple
fine.
months.
That's
all
a-
you
that's a
need.
retirement
That's
match,
all
yeah.
you need. Yeah, it's Batista's last match. He's going against Hunter, a proven commodity. They have a history with each other, so you don't even have to build it for too long at all.
And that's what
It-
Jim's saying. He's saying just for WrestleMania.
Yeah, this is big time.
Don't be surprised if it comes out that Rick helped Batista.
Okay.
Could be.
And this is the thing.
I like
Dirtiest
that.
play in the game. Come on now.
I like
That totally makes sense. 'Cause I know it's Triple H, and he has his history of being like one of the greatest of all time. Not knocking the guy, but his last match wasn't that great. Crown Jewel, right? The one he got injured in wasn't the greatest. So I would like to see some build on his end to be like, well, here's a reason why you should watch me in this match come WrestleMania time. You know, so that'd be kind of cool if he was the one that's getting swerved. Or
I mean, Triple H will not wrestle any of those mid-card guys because for WrestleMania, no, straight up, because he always wrestles a proven commodity, someone he's worked with, someone he's comfortable with, someone that's box office. And this is no better feud that you can give him at this point than Batista, because there's no one else on the roster if you look at who would he feud with and have a WrestleMania match with. It makes perfect sense.
Thoughts on this one, TK?
You're just tiring, Jim.
No, I'm just tired of the truth. I don't know. I mean,
You're just tiring.
He's right, though.
Well, no,
He's
he
right.
is right. And the thing is,
okay, well, then prove my
well,
point.
the thing is, sometimes with you, there's this. It's every day. They do this every single week. And, they plan for certain things. They didn't plan for Roman Reigns. They plan for certain things in the long term, and stuff happens. People get injured, all this other stuff. And it's just like they'll bring back superstars to have that. So, of course, it's going to be a great match. But for me, it's one of those things that, it'd be ideal to take what you call a mid-carder and build them up so you can have them, because you're going to have them, barring they're not injured, throughout the year. Because Batista's going to be there for WrestleMania, and then he's going to be gone. And it's one of those things like, okay, well, this was great. They have a couple of weeks, less 8-9 weeks to build it up.
Not even 6.
Yeah,
so that's
6 weeks to build it up. Okay, this is cool. But then after WrestleMania, you're still left with those same people because Batista's gonna be gone and Triple H is gonna be back in the office.
But right there, that's Jim's point right there.
That's fine.
You have to build up a mid-carder. You ain't got to do nothing with this. It literally is a ready-made dish.
Yeah, I agree, but that's the thing. You have to build them up. If you keep on saying, "Well, we just gonna do the box office,"
WrestleMania's not time to build someone.
Right, but that's the point.
I'm saying who built it?
WrestleMania, the time doesn't change. It's the same time every year.
Who is
so
worthy?
You have a full year to build up whoever you feel
and
has the charisma and the personality and the body and whatever to get there. And if you don't do that, then you're found in the same predicament. Like, oh well, we don't have any box office, so now we're gonna have to bring somebody else in to tell this story.
To be fair, it's WrestleMania. It doesn't matter how many great matches they have. If they have a chance to bring in a former star, they're going to bring in a former star. And Batista, all the credit in the world, they were not paying, Triple H wasn't paying attention to him online. Batista was saying, I want to come back, and WWE wasn't responding. And I'm thinking, wow, they're just really throwing him the cold shoulder.
Yeah.
Turns out, damn. I mean, he's not doing Guardians 3, apparently, so he's got some time.
Right.
But wow, definitely did not see that happening. Loved it. And if we're going to get Triple H Batista, that's another
spotlight.
Yeah, plus Batista wanted to go out a certain way. This is not just, this is no disrespect, this ain't time for a mid-carder, man. It's just not. Batista Batista deserves to have a chance to go out on his own terms. And it's Batista, man.
Yeah, you put into work that Batista did and the national attention Batista did, then you might have that shot.
Knock yourself out.
No one on the roster has done what Batista's done to get that. He deserves that spot, and if it's given to him, perfectly fine. He's earned it.
That's Triple H.
That's Triple H,
I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it. And if you have the opportunity to create your retirement match like this, then of course you're going to do that. Yeah. So there's no argument there. But I'm just saying that the other superstars had the opportunity. They had the ring. They had the in-ring time, all this to build up to become a superstar. And if you believe, and of course, some people have to be mid-card, some people have to be lower than that, but if you believe that everybody that everybody except for those folks that you named are going to just stay as mid-cards, those other folks who are prime time, they're eventually going to leave. So then what do you have? You still have to build somebody from that spot or get somebody else in order to become a superstar. You still have to build them. LeBron James trains. He puts in money during the summer. He puts in all that work. You have to put in the work to become the superstar.
LeBron spends $1 million on his body per year.
Hold on, let's not compare anybody to LeBron James.
Right, I'm just
LeBron James came out the womb box office. We gotta stop. He's on the cover of Sports Illustrated when he was 17 years old. We gotta stop.
No, but I'm just saying,
he is an anomaly.
Right, but I'm just saying, you still, no matter what, he has to put in the work. If he came out of the womb playing basketball and then he's but he said, okay, I got this. I'm not gonna train. I'm not gonna put in the work. I'm not gonna put in the work. Then he wouldn't be he would be just great, not great.
So you tell me some of these mid-carders on LeBron James level?
I'm saying some of these mid-cards, they need to have the opportunity to at least do that.
Who is worthy of Triple H on the roster right now if he can build them from scratch? Nobody. Who's worthy of that dude right now? That's Triple H, man.
Right.
Come on.
Nobody.
We gotta stop. I'm sorry, man.
We're trying to make.
Come on,
something
man.
out of nothing, right?
That's Triple H at WrestleMania.
But that's the thing, though. Why does it have to be Triple H? You know, the reason Triple H is there is because of Batista, correct?
Right.
Like,
He's there
Triple H
because
wouldn't be there.
he's there because he loves to participate in WrestleMania, and it's his favorite event of the year.
And don't forget, Batista threw a little diss in at SmackDown 1000 saying, "Hey, you've never beat me," wink, wink. And then here we are today. But I agree. This is one match I'm completely on board with. It's a ready-made dish. It's a meat lover's pizza. Ready to go, piping hot. And
That's
this is
pretty
just,
good.
It's a great match. You can add to an already exciting card that is building up. I mean, if those are the 4 matches I mentioned so far, damn, that's a pretty great card.
For sure. It's definitely an attraction. It's WrestleMania. Casual fans come out the woodwork to watch the event. It's 10 hours long, over 5 billion days.
Yeah, it's gotten so long.
Yeah, it's gotten so long. So you can have those technical matches. You can have those box office matches and those classic matches for those who may have lapsed over the year or two. So I think it's fine. I feel like it came out of nowhere for me in a good way. And I'm willing to see it. I just feel like, all right, great. It's going to be a nice component for this year's WrestleMania.
No, it's definitely a good lead up. I also like the fact that Ronda left the belt in the ring. Like I like the lead ups, and because we didn't know a couple weeks ago. I was like, wait, so Becky's not doing it, and then the possible 3-way. Like what's happening with all that? So I like the fact that we still don't know, and I like the fact that it's like, okay, well, does this mean that she's no longer wrestling? Which is obviously not. But how are they going to spin this throughout the weeks to come to WrestleMania? So I like what they're doing. I'm just saying that. There are other folks that could get the opportunity, or at least a storyline of some sort, versus them just being backstage chilling.
Chilling.
No one's got anything.
Either way, Ric Flair, as if you wanted another reason why he could be the greatest of all time. On his birthday, he's 70 years old. He's like, yeah, you can drag me out. Sure.
Unbelievable, man.
Yeah.
Selling.
The greatest of all
Selling
time.
at 70, man.
Yep.
Just beautiful. I mean, I cannot wait to see the next 6 weeks now. I mean, I already was excited, but you add Batista to the mix, him and Triple H. It's going to be a lot of fun. So let's get into, we already talked about the women's triple threat that might be happening. Ronda Rousey drops the title, center of the ring in front of Stephanie, says, I want Becky to be reinstated. Steph says no, so she just drops the title and walks out. Steph and Triple H have no idea what's happening backstage. I dug this.
Yeah.
I thought Ronda had a lot of emotion. Is she going to say everything completely clearly? No, I don't care. Get the message across, and she certainly did that.
I like this segment too, but for Stephanie's work, and that is she tried to come off as like I'm looking out for the best interest for my talent, but then when she got disrespected, that old school character was not ignored, which I thought was pretty cool. Saying, "Look, you don't get to talk to me like that. I'm still your boss." That to me was really awesome and on brand for Steph. So.
Thankfully, she dropped that title back for a reinstation because I cannot see Becky Lynch getting arrested for 10 weeks consecutively. It's a tired act. It's getting bored. All she's doing, she's not Stone Cold. They're trying to pull that thing off. She can't even sell it that well. So the whole thing, every week we see her on a show. And
I know what he's saying, though. He's just saying
we're supposed to believe she's getting in the building every time and she's getting through security and they're arresting her. Like, just stop with that.
He doesn't like the shtick.
Just stop the shtick.
It's a lot.
Exactly. It's too much.
I don't even think she needs it either.
She doesn't really need it at all. It's not. It's this Austin thing they're trying to do. Just let it be right now.
I just like that they did it a cool way of Ronda is going to be the reason why she gets in the match. You know what I mean? Like I like that angle that Ronda's like, do the right thing, do the right thing. Like I want Becky in the match, and Becky deserves to be in this match. Stop having her mess up everything and just book the match. I like that angle. I like that. Like I said, Ronda's like, I want to fight the best because that's how she made her career. Like no matter what people said, no matter how her career ended in UFC, she fought everybody.
Yeah.
She fought everybody that came her way, and that's how she built her reputation. That's why, even though people think she's shaky on the mic, the best thing she said was that tonight. She was like, I made enough money. I bled enough and made enough money.
Sure.
She should have dropped the mic there. She's
right
like, I don't even need this title.
Yeah,
you need me. I was like, she should have just walked out after that.
She brings up a great point. It's like
Unbelievable.
she doesn't have to be wrestling. It's like people want to criticize. This is a big stretch here, but at the same token, people that still criticize David Arquette for getting back in wrestling, it's like, are you crazy? He has all the money he'll ever need. All right, don't forget about him being an actor. He was the executive producer of Desperate Housewives. He's good.
He's good.
He's here because he loves wrestling.
Yeah,
Trust
sure.
me,
VC money.
he is giving so much back to wrestling right now and getting so much positive attention. Anyone who criticizes him is baffling to me. And anyone who criticizes Rousey, lay off.
Yeah, FU money is very underrated.
Oh yeah, definitely.
FU money, there's money and there's FU money. There's money when you can say FU to anybody, man. That's that money, you just
Yeah, that's wealth right
When your money's making your money, trust me, this is literally fun for Ronda right now, man. People have no idea how much money this woman's made in endorsements alone, man.
Oh, no,
she's
for sure.
speaking of box office, you know what I mean? Like you said about Arquette. Arquette's doing this for fun, man.
Yeah.
Trust
this
me.
is fun.
I've worked with him up close in Championship Wrestling. He's here because he wants to
That
be.
boy's bank
And
account
that
is
counts for a
stretching.
lot of things. So I know that I'm one of the few people, or many people, that give Ronda Rousey a lot of flack for her work on the mic. When we sit here and talk about it, I think story-wise, character-wise, it makes sense. It's on brand for Ronda. Like, when you just paraphrase what she said, it's great. But in the moment watching the show, I get, like, the bad chills when she says it. I know
what you're saying.
It's not necessarily my responsibility to like everything she says.
But you mean the lack of confidence in her, in the stuff she's saying.
I feel like, yeah, she's saying what Ronda would say.
When she said that thing about the bleeding for money, I was like, that was...
When you said this now, I was like, damn, that's hot. But watching it, I was like,
I understand.
Yeah, but she said she had some good points because the thing too is people within her UFC career criticize the fact that Dana White, fed her certain people. So, now you come over to WWE and like you don't want, if you're familiar with the career, she doesn't want that. She wants anybody, like everybody's here. She wants to go against everybody. So she wants that opportunity.
Yeah.
So she's kind of playing the back and forth, and I like that.
See, that makes
And the
sense.
thing too is we know she wasn't like the Mayweather when she was when she was in the UFC. So Mike is not her first thing. But the fact that she's able to do that live, like you can allow for certain mistakes because she's human.
Don't forget too, she had just finished the match. Now, in my opinion, that's the best time to grab the mic is when the adrenaline's pumping through your
She
veins.
was so
and you're ready to-
fired up.
But at the same time, like she got the message across. Wrestling is not word for word, and when it is word for word, it's not good. Right. You have to tell. And she got everything across. She got in Steph's face, and I get it. I'm with you on the arrest thing. It's like, how do you get into the building? How many times are you going to get arrested over the next 6 weeks? Hopefully, that's the last time. At this
I hope
point.
it is too, though. Truly, she doesn't need it.
Because what can you do for the next 6 weeks? Because don't forget, technically, Becky's on SmackDown.
It's true.
that's true.
That's true. She's a SmackDown product.
What is she gonna do? Keep beating up Charlotte every week? There's a lot. It's very difficult. You want to make sure, and I don't think this is possible, but you want to make sure it's not too much overkill leading up to WrestleMania. Make everyone really want it.
Yeah, it's already getting repetitive, right? With this whole shtick that she's doing, getting arrested. So they're already kind of running out of things to do because they keep on repeating that.
They got to figure out something like just to literally have.
Get Charlotte involved.
Maybe even tomorrow, Stephanie coming out and be like, "Listen, man. All right, let's make this happen. Let's make this triple threat match happen. It's going to be this best for business. It's going to be the best main event in WWE. Let's make this the best main event in WWE history and say that so they can just calm down a little bit, man. Girl, she all fired up, man. Last kicker.
And also, I want to say we have a lot of people in live chat. Most of you guys are awesome, and those of you who are second guessing Roman Reigns, just.
Please.
Look at yourself in the mirror, please.
Just real quick, go to the mirror, pick up a handheld mirror or something, and be like, what is wrong?
I'm not going to say
like
what
Mojo.
you can take a guess at what people. I'm not going to say.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
Come on.
So either
Public
way,
education. I'm sorry.
Leukemia?
Took me a while to get there.
The hell jokes about leukemia.
but yeah, didn't even need Charlotte tonight. They got the point across, and this was really. I thought Ronda shined here, no doubt about that. Moving on, Finn Balor, Leo Rush. I think
Match of the night, man.
Match of the night.
Yes, agreed. And I love Leo Rush's music. That thing was hard,
It was
man.
hard.
Yeah, man.
And
I come to collect.
People forget that he can wrestle, man. He do a good job. To me, they're damn near the same size, man. Let's be honest,
Hey,
man.
no.
Oh, here's the size guy. Here's the size guy. Is he going Gargano size?
I
Same
think-
size.
I
Leo
said
Rush is up to my waist.
I said damn
Much
near.
less Finn Balor's.
Let TK talk.
He looks so much
Well, the
smaller.
thing too is like you don't the stuff that he's doing in the ring now, like what he was doing in the Indies.
Yeah.
Like if you go, I don't even know if he still has this stuff on his Instagram, but the stuff that he was doing in the Indies is not even. It's like a whole nother stratosphere. Like I don't know if it's like a insurance issue or whatever, but the stuff that he was doing there as far as the backflips off of ladders and stuff like that, he's not even like you haven't even seen Leo Rush.
Yeah,
yet.
I think because his character's a manager, they kind of have it toned down. This is what it seems that way.
And also a lot of that stuff is not. It's not WWE. Leo Rush never sold anything in the Indies, and you have to sell in WWE.
Well.
So
Johnny
that's part
making
of
a
it.
hell of a point.
Hot take.
And no disrespect to anybody on the indie scene.
It's true.
And in the indie scene, it's man.
I'm not saying everyone.
No,
I'm just
I know,
saying he
just-
specifically.
That's why they're two separate entities. That's why when there's always the person that's talking about the indie wrestling over mainstream, guys, let me tell you something. Mainstream is just a different thing, man.
Preach it, preach. Go ahead.
Because are you kidding me, man?
Yeah.
I love the indies, man.
I love the indies.
But
I love the indies.
But you're right for transitioning to to WWE.
Well, I mean, you
Wrestling on television is just way different.
It's just
than
different,
wrestling
man.
with no cameras.
Well,
there's no doubt about it.
You could take it into like podcast versus radio. Two different.
Yeah.
It's a whole nother thing.
Good point.
For sure.
So
Yeah.
like it's when people.
I
People
love
on
like
radio,
going
you
out
know
and
what's true? People on radio they have sponsors and they make millions
Yeah, but the
on talk
time,
radio.
the time in radio is like every minute is organized.
Right.
Podcasts, you have people at podcasts for 2 hours just talking ish.
Yeah.
So like there's a big difference, and there are great podcasts out there.
Absolutely.
Like being a battle rapper and doing albums, like two different things.
But also,
what I'm trying to- yes.
Hashtag Kiss. All right.
wrestling on TV is also kind of an exact science as well because you have to go to commercial. You have to know you're coming
Timing.
back from commercial. So there is a lot that has to do with
There's
it.
cues,
But-
Oh yeah,
There's-
that's why. Listen, I love the indie. Okay, I can't.
I do
Yeah,
too,
don't
bro.
say it.
I do
Okay,
too.
don't
I
even-
do too.
Here's the thing. Like some
Very
guys
much.
are made for indies, and some guys are made for TV, like
100%.
WWE.
Okay, yeah,
and
that's
in that case, Lio Rush. Good on the mic, really good, talented in the ring.
Absolutely.
But you can't make me believe. Besides Balor, they're not that much a discrepancy in height
No.
and size. But man, that's a king of 205 live. You know what I mean? When I'm looking with Lio Rush, but he's not gonna get. We're talking about stars. He will never, ever be a star in the main event.
They won't let him know.
Who cares?
They will
He
never
doesn't
they'll
have
never
to
do.
be.
And he doesn't have to. That's the good point because he doesn't have to be.
They won't
He is
let
what
him,
he
though.
is, and that's okay. Like keep him the way he is. He can wrestle the smaller guys. He can get over that way, but that's it.
I was just trying to make the point for anyone who said that Lio Rush couldn't wrestle on TV. No, he proved it tonight.
Absolutely.
I don't know who was agenting the match. If I had to guess, I was going to say Shane Helms was behind that match as the agent because he's genius and he knows. And for Lio Rush to work the leg like that of Finn Balor. The strategy. That's one match I would have loved to call, and the announcers did a great job of covering that. The fact he was going after the leg, it could take away the coup de grace, and then Finn sold it. It was beautiful.
Johnny, you're absolutely right. It's one of those things where, like, that's one of the best matches Finn Balor's ever had. Like, that's one of his better matches, man, and recently, man. And he wrestles good matches, man. Lio Rush gave him all he could handle. And to me, that's what it's about when we're talking about when you're wrestling. If you're not going to win, it's about making each other look good, and it's about getting over and showing the fans. I think you just talk on the mic that this is why you really are here, though.
Yeah.
You can wrestle, man, and that was Leo's job, and I think he did a good job of that tonight.
Yeah.
Whether he's a star, Jimmy.
No, that's like a pinnacle moment for him tonight. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
pinnacle moment.
There's also parts for his character too. We realize that he's a street level manager with Lashley, but then he's also someone who's very ambitious and can be easily manipulated by Finn Balor. I thought from the writing standpoint that was pretty cool as well.
The only thing I thought was weird was that Alexa Bliss made the match.
Yeah, that was.
She sure did. She's like, it's right now. I was like, hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on now.
After talking about abs, take off the belt, even though he wrestles with no shirt
Corey
on.
Graves is on fire right there, though. I'm sorry, man.
Corey
He
Graves
was
is
on the
over
fire. He's like, I can't stand Leo Rush right now.
Corey Lawler over there. Yeah.
Graves!
I like Alexa's character change, by the way. That's something to note. It's been like a new little twist on her persona.
Since they've
She's-
all of a sudden just buried her in Black Man's Purgatory, man. They're giving her, letting her do
Well,
something.
I think that has something to do with her injury.
injury still, probably.
Let's hope so. She'll be all healthy and they'll be like, hey, man, injuries are very good reason to put somebody into purgatory, man.
She's like a flirty heel.
You got to be real careful with the head.
That's true.
Gotta
I
be
didn't know. I didn't know it was a head injury, brother.
You're gonna
concussion.
wrestle with
Yeah,
helmets on.
and especially with the microscopes that's on, like CTE and things like that. I didn't know it was a head injury.
It was more than one, so I think.
Take your time, boo. Take your time.
Yeah, exactly. Do the hyperbaric.
I mean, at least
do
she's
the whole thing.
on TV.
That's all that matters, man. Just getting out there, just representing your brand, selling some T-shirts.
Speaking of brand, let's get into TK's Boudoir.
Okay.
TK's Boudoir is heavy right
Hey. Shout out to Uptime.
Oh yeah.
Uptime.
Shout out to Uptown.
Repping the sponsors, man. The only song we can play legally.
So we were just talking about her. So definitely Alexa Bliss. She looks
right.
amazing.
Oh, she looked wonderful tonight.
And then I want to give a shout out to Ric Flair's belt because that was on point.
That was nice.
Yes, it was.
I believe you're forgetting somebody that's on the
Oh
mic.
yes, and Charlie.
All right. You gotta
I
make
think,
sure,
it was like Haywood Wong that put it in Twitter before we even got on
Yeah,
the
I
show.
know.
So,
Yo, Wong was like, yo, Caruso, he like crop that joint. I was like, word.
she's definitely on
We
point.
listen to the fans.
I wonder if Rick even knows he has a title yet.
Man.
That's cool.
Oh, before we even move on, what do you think? Do you think anybody's ever going to pass Rick's title? Do you think it's like John or Randy is ever
I mean,
gonna past 16?
all it takes is one more. To be honest, a lot of people a couple years ago assumed Cena was going to do it. I think Cena would be perfectly happy retiring at 16. I don't think he
doesn't want to beat it.
Yeah,
No.
I think if Cena had a choice, exactly. I think he's totally cool with staying tied with Rick.
Him and Orton will beat it.
Think so?
I think
I don't
two of
see
them
it,
will
man,
pass.
because Johnny's definitely winding down in this. I like the tie aspect.
Where's Orton at?
14 or 15? 14.
Yeah,
14 or 15.
He's
14,
like,
14.
I think he's 14. He's like 3 or
Chat
3
roll!
behind or so.
I think he's 14, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Orton's going to beat that.
No.
It wouldn't have the same impact that Orton did.
And Orton's still
Orton
relatively young, too, man.
Yeah.
Orton's not even
Yeah, he's like, props to Orton.
Randy
though.
Orton is one of the top 5 probably greatest unrecognized wrestlers. Like guys that he's so
By
good
far.
that isn't acknowledged. He's already easily a top 10 wrestler
JBL,
of
man,
all
if they
time.
build a wrestler from the ground up, it'll look like Randy
but
Orton. JBL
Randy
always
Orton
says
has
that.
gone so quietly, kind of underrated in a weird way after winning all these titles and being such a focus for all these
I can
years.
tell you why, because his character hasn't changed in over 12 years.
He doesn't need to change.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like if you don't do anything different, you tend to fade away. Like Jericho, to his credit, we came back
reinvented
every couple
him.
He's
yeah.
a chameleon, man.
Yeah. It's like Orton is.
Orton is
doesn't-
14 and he's only about to be 39. That is
Told you.
very young.
It's crazy.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
he
he can
doesn't
do
seem
it.
like he seems like he's good where he's at. Like he could do the social media thing and like push his character and all this, but he doesn't seem like he's about like he's worked hard. He's where he is in the company. The company respects him. Like
He has amazing perks. He has a trailer. Like Randy, I'm telling you, he's in good match mode now. Like the wrestlers go through those modes. He's in I just want to put on good matches at pay-per-views now. I think he's because he's
And why not?
legacy cemented, man. When your legacy cemented, man, it just don't matter, man. It really don't, man. Your job is to put over the young guys, have great matches, memorable matches. He has 14 titles.
That's right.
14 titles, man. He's good, man.
I just got to say, there's a comment in chat roll that is cracking me up right now. Someone named Shy Lethal says, why do they call Ric Flair the GOAT when he consistently booked himself as champion and never had a 7-star match like Okada? Who makes 7-star ratings? I don't know what you're...
7-star.
Yeah, 8-star matches. This is gonna be
Yeah,
great.
Okada is fantastic, and he's a legend, but give Ric Flair his respect. It's not just about what he did in the ring. It's about his character. He's a trendsetter. How many hip-hop songs has Ric Flair been
He
in
just
now?
had one with the Migos.
Yeah, he's
Okada versus Ric Flair. You better now. You see, this is what I'm talking about.
He's
See,
an
this is what's
entertainment
people are getting out of
star.
hand now. We're talking about what are the 4 pillars of wrestling.
Come on.
You guys got. We
Listen.
gotta stop this, man.
Someone's watching Chinese tapes overnight, probably for 3 days consecutively, going on these.
I ain't going that far, man.
I mean,
Japanese, man.
Japanese tape.
Japanese.
Okay.
You got your Asian wrong.
they could have been in China, okay?
You are the
They
greatest.
could have been in China watching this. Either way,
He's digging his hole, man. Let him dig it. Let him dig it.
either way, they've been watching probably in a basement for 3 days and been picking up some tapes, VHS tapes, and watching them, and finally came to a horrible conclusion because they have not seen actual mainstream wrestling in a
cannot just
decade.
say
I
that.
cannot stand Jim right now. Hold on, man. First of all, to the guy in the chat, I'm telling you, someone can argue that there's no wrestling without Ric Flair, man.
Yeah.
Like he's selling tickets, he's bringing things to him and
Look.
Dusty and you know the guy.
If there's a Mount Rushmore, Ric Flair's on it. Now,
one of the 4 pillars, bro.
in Japan, at some point, Okada can sure be on the Mount Rushmore, but you can't be comparing. Yeah, Okada's great in the ring, but Rick, we're talking the whole picture.
International, man. I'm
For
telling
God's
you,
sake.
Ric Flair is a pillar, man. Him, Hogan. You know what I mean? When I say 4 pillars of wrestling, people pop in your head.
Yep.
I'm
Yeah, but
telling you,
even,
Ric Flair is one of them.
The references that he's made is seeping into movies and seeping into music that people don't even
Pop
realize.
culture.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
everyone.
he started that
And
stuff.
it was
Like
a slow burn compared to Hogan, but totally seemed that his would be more everlasting, right? I feel like a lot of the dressing up a certain way, the saying the things, the high life living, those things are like are
Also,
are
Ric
permanent
Flair, obviously he's had some issues, but he has not had the massive issues that Hulk Hogan's had publicly. So
that's besides the point. I mean, like the part is like,
Oh my God.
Come on, these nerds, man.
Oh my
I think we're
God.
all in there. I'm in there.
Cannot
I mean,
believe
but
what
you
you
know what I
said.
mean?
Yeah.
Like these marks that are so marked out that they don't even know what day it is, making comments like that.
anyways, we got to move on. Couple minutes left. Revival loses again, this time to the team of Ricochet and Aleister Black. Once again, NXT stays undefeated. I'm not quite sure what's happening. 'cause
Black Mass is what happened tonight.
So here's the thing: they're saying that there's no automatic rematch clauses anymore. But we're seeing Root and Gable backstage. Is that going to be some sort of setup? As hey, look, the champ still lost 2 matches in a row. Do we get in that picture at some point?
I think part of the writers are trying to say, don't forget about them.
By looking at the
Please, dear God, don't forget about that. Like, honestly, bro, because that was so random. They're like, do not forget about this makeshift tag team. We threw together, man.
Right.
We threw 2 darts at a board, and Gable and Rude, it was together, and we made it. They're like, remember them. They'll be in an 8-man tag match at WrestleMania.
So crazy because I remember when Bobby Roode went over from NXT to the main roster, it was like a huge pop. Like everybody was about it. Like it was a thing. And it was just like now.
Preach.
Purgatory.
Preach.
BMP.
I will say this though, it was a lot of reliance. And look, I know how great Bobby Roode is. I mean, he's had an amazingly long career. I just think it was too much reliance on the damn song.
You think they didn't cut bait fast enough, or
No, they build it up too much with the song and intro to a point where when you got in the ring, the air goes out. You know,
that's fair.
I disagree. I think I love Rude. Rude was one of my favorite NXT. Even when he's on SmackDown, was one of my favorites. I thought when they turned him full on face and Glorious got overused, it was like you became a gimmick. Like I felt he was like the guy with the robes until he was like Glorious, reverse.
Also,
Glorious.
When you're thinking he might get a title, never got a title.
Never got a title.
That kills the steam. I'm telling you, that's what broke my heart about the Wyatt thing, man. Guys, they had to put a title on him like immediately, like Sheamus immediately.
Yeah.
That when they did that with Sheamus became an instant superstar because people were like, what the hell?
He got one.
But they accepted it, didn't they? Though, because he was so badass.
And Bobby
man.
Roode is so good as. I mean, Bobby Roode's good
Oh,
either
they
way,
should've
but
gave
he's
him a title,
he's
man.
so good as a heel. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, and he was a heel. I don't care if it's IC gold. I just mean some gold to be like, okay, this whole buildup was for something. He came to the main roster and he won a title. That's what happened. When you have him just doing these okay matches, had a little feud with Zig, it wore out people, and then he went babyface.
Yeah.
And it was done, man.
was done, yeah.
We got a minute left. I'm going to run around one more thing. I want a quick opinion. Heavy machinery, can't they just let them loose instead of these segments?
I know you're not feeling those segments. It was painful. I'm not even lying.
They missed an obvious joke. They missed an obvious joke when Tucker was like, and they said you were dumpster diving for cheeseburgers. He should have been like, well, I was doing that.
Yes. Or he's holding the cheeseburger. Oh my gosh, comedy time.
Should have been holding the cheeseburger.
Yeah, sorry, I cut you off.
And then
I lost all faith in them. They're just a gimmick.
I
They're the
turned it
next
down.
Santino or whatever you want to call it.
It's getting there quickly.
Yeah,
it's getting
it's
there
bad.
quickly.
They're done.
But see, that's the problem, though. You bring them up, and you see them in NXT. They have these great characters. Then you bring them up, and then you essentially bring them to die.
Right.
Like how many people have come to like Asuka? All these people that come from NXT that have the possibility to be these superstars, and then you possibly have this storyline, and then you're like, oh, we're not going to do that anymore. And now you don't even give them those opportunities, and now they're in that mid-level card purgatory.
They straight got Funkasaurus. It was pretty bad because they were badasses down there, and they came up and it was becoming brother. Like, but what does that all mean?
Yeah.
I have no idea. But I thought it was a missed opportunity for at least something. If they're going to be a comedy duo, they should at least be funny, right?
Well, I mean, look, I'm not giving up. It's only been a couple of weeks. I love Heavy Machinery. I just think that it didn't.
Yeah, but their MO with people from NXT is like we saw Nikki Cross standing there for Ric Flair's thing, and she looked normal, just standing there. It's like, okay.
People in the chat are saying Rude had a title, he had a US title. I go, guys, you're missing my point. I didn't say he didn't get a title. Like, y'all see me every week, man. I think I know a little bit about wrestling. He didn't get a title.
Right.
Can we
Didn't hold
stop,
it,
man,
didn't Ric
please?
Flair it,
You know what I'm talking about, man. I'm talking about IC Gold or World Championship. Y'all know what I'm talking about, man.
It's a 3-hour show. Hard
Bobby
to keep
Roode.
total consistency, but we need to roll, so let's all put ourselves over. Evan Mack, go.
Evan T. Mac, Instagram and Twitter, man. Y'all gonna find Heel Jim on NXT, man, leading the show with Anissa Bard. It should be. That's a main event. That's an NXT takeover main event.
I will destroy Indy if she challenges me right there. And you can find me at realtalker.com and at the Jim Alexander on all social media.
Oh man, at Flobo Boys on Twitter, at Flobito on Instagram, and flobito.com.
And you can find me on everything at TK Trinidad. And if you are in Canada, you can see me doing entertainment news on CP24.
It's funny you say that. I was in Canada this
Yeah,
past
they didn't
weekend.
invite me though.
Yeah, Johnny was doing his thing in the
I
Great
was
White
in
North.
Toronto. If you have Fight TV,
Six.
if you have Fight TV, you can get the pay-per-view. It was Blackcraft Wrestling, Destiny Wrestling together. I called the action with Executive Vice President Impact Wrestling Scott D'Amore. It was a great pay-per-view. I can't even say enough about how good the matches were. So check it out on Fight TV. Look it up. You'll love it. Championship Wrestling from Hollywood every single week. We had an incredible taping yesterday, and I'm going on tour with Rikishi.
Damn.
March 16 San Francisco, 17 Sacramento, 26 Nashville, March 31st, Brea, California. Maybe something WrestleMania weekend, we will see. But with that said, guys, at Jay Quasto, all social media platforms. We had a jam-packed house tonight in the chat roll. I don't know what happened, but keep it up every Monday night.
Thank you so much.
Come
On
see us, guys.
fire in there.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
Ciao.
Woo.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.